Hi, everybody. This is day 1330. And let's see if I'm on. Let's go. If everything is working. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. It seems like everything is fine. And we are reorganizing and redoing things. So I'm trying to get a large reach. Of course, there is shadow banning going on and all of that, and we just have to move forward. That's it. We just have to move forward. We have to find a way. We have to make a way. This is too important. This is our national security. This case, and we're laying it all out, and that's why we need you to share this, share this information, uh, like, comment, and go ahead and just spread it around all over because what you're hearing is we're trying to be as authentic as possible to get you the best intelligence possible. And our intelligence is coming back with so much information about the weapons audit in 2019 on Fort Bliss. That is, we're going to put all that together and I'll present that to you tomorrow because, um, 2019 was the Walmart mass shooting, right? The Walmart mass shooting with the M4s and the brown tip bullets and all of the lies, the total lies. And, with my history being from an immigrant family, having grown up in a bilingual household with bilingual grandparents, all my grandparents spoke. My grandfather came over to the United States at the age of 19 because he could not get a job in Germany at that time because you had to join the party in order to get a job. So he came to the United States and World War II ensued, and he was put in a camp in the United States for 3 years with other Germans and Japanese. Um, I think that is, he said he was well treated for 3 years. He had to be away from his wife and his children during World War II. He escaped the Nazi party. Um, Job requirements came to the United States. Was so happy that he even did not have a hard feeling at all being interned during World War II for 3 years. Um, and we're, till the day he died, I mean, 70 years in the United States, um, and just I had such a happy grandfather. Spoke German, read Psalms in German every morning, um, and so we heard his side of the story. Of course, mom um, uh, was in Germany during the whole war. My grandfather fell. My mother's mother fell during the war with his 6 other brothers. The family had 9 sons. 7 of them fell during during the war. He was a cook. He was, and then at at the end of the war, they just put everyone up to the Russian front, and he was buried. He was shot in the stomach. We have his paperwork, if it can be believed. He was shot in the stomach and placed in a mass grave that was shut off for because of the communist um, curtain coming down for over 50 years. And my mother then, when the Iron Curtain, because communism never lasts, it cannot last, right? It just doesn't work, and it's just miserable. It's absolutely a miserable experiment, and it never works. And when it fell, my mother and father had the opportunity to go to this little village where this mass grave was, where her father was said to have been buried. And it's a very heavy price. War is a terrible price, and when we have wars just to enrich the elites, just to enrich those who want to play war, um, it, it really is criminal. It really is criminal. And World War II was the beginning of, people's greeds on making money for war, because I really believe that the narratives now, after going through this for 3.5 years and all of the information that we've discovered in Richard's case, it has really made me understand the stories that my Oma told me, um, and other German friends, since I've lived overseas most of my life, to understand what they have taught. And even in South Korea, listening, I love to make friends with older people and listen to their stories, because I love history so much. And to hear what they have to say about World War I and World War II, I definitely do not believe the mainstream narratives of those wars. And it is, I think it's all going to come out one day, and we'll learn really the truth. I'm not saying I have the truth. I'm just saying that the mainstream narratives that we are given do not tell us the truth. And in Richard's case, we have now proof that the narrative that we were given about our son from his own command. That's what's so heartbreaking about this whole thing. From the CID, from his generals, were lies, were absolute lies, and that they themselves were criminal and up to no good and profiteering off of our military, um, profiteering illegally off of our military. And it's just become very clear because of their reactions, because of the lies that they told us that are very clear lies now, because we have the hard video evidence from the body cams, from the Ken K9 cop, and the other police officer, and it is very clear that what we were told is not what happened. Not what happened on that night in January 27th and 28th, because it happened at midnight of 2020. And that date, when you look at the calendar, um, they went to the extremes, okay? Because you can say, oh, this was the El Paso Police Department. Well, they have, some to answer for with this video for so long. But who knows what they were told by the CID? Who knows what they were told by the command? The real individuals I believe that Team 5 Richard Halliday believes are implicated in this is the Army Command, Richard's Army Command, and more. And, uh, because they have an obligation to take care of our volunteer sons and daughters. They have an obligation to have their six. It's an army of one. It's leave no soldier behind. It's a Medal of Honor ethos. Um, it's esprit de corps. Okay, that is what be all you can be, right? Um, Army strong. They really want to promote the army of one, the team, uh, having each other six, having these creeds and the ethics and everything. And they need to, because an army or a military does not work where there is no esprit de corps. A, a military is doomed to lose every battle, which makes you think about the battles we've been fighting lately and how we have lost them. But a military is doomed to kill a lot more of their own without the Medal of Honor ethos, without esprit de corps, without the leadership having uh, or taking their obligation for their service members seriously. And in Richard's case, and I will say in El Paso's case, in Fort Bliss's case, and in our military's case right now, they do not have our soldiers six. They do not value their obligation to care for our volunteer sons and daughters. They are mixed up with the cartel, and I'm talking about the generals, the command, higher ranking command, and then some. They are engaged in criminal activities that include child sex trafficking, um, the child pornography, um, money laundering, uh, arms trafficking, ammunition trafficking, and illegal uh, narcotics trafficking. And it just goes on and on. It's just they are engaged in these very, very serious crimes. And how can I be on here and say that with such confidence, with 3.5 years of investigative work, day in and day out, to and dealing with reactions and responses from these individuals, and um, absolutely I can say with surety that they are engaged in illegal activity with the border and on their military installations. And we'll talk specifically about Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss, absolutely, really important military installation because it's right there on the border, and was the command of Richard engaged in criminal activity? Absolutely, they were engaged in criminal activity. How do I know that? Well, it's very, very simple. And it's and why would I mention World War I and World War II, and um, uh, you know my past with my grandparents being immigrants, legal immigrants, that love this country, including my mother, legal immigrant, that love this country. And why would I even mention that? And I think it's because the point that I'm trying to make is that with the kind of history that we have had in our family. We just don't believe every narrative, okay? Just don't believe every narrative. We understand that we can absolutely be lied to with by trusted leadership. That trusted leadership, um, I should say, trusted positions can have leadership in those positions that will not honor their position and lie to you and lie to you. The huge lies, absolute huge lies. And so we were very aware of that. And so when they started telling us about our son, do you want to hear about your son? I'm like, yes. I remember when uh, Lieutenant Colonel Allie Payne says, do you want to hear about your son? And I'm like, yes, please, go ahead, tell us. Um, and, you know, it was so insane. It was so ridiculous. It was kind of like Patrick Crusius's manifesto, right? Anyone that believes that Patrick Crusius, once you know Patrick Crusius, you just watch him a little bit, you just read about him a little bit, and that you find out that the day of that shooting, all of a sudden his Facebook goes from a Republican to, I mean, Democrat to Republican. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna shoot up a bunch of people, but first I have to change my party affiliation. It's the most insane and ridiculous narrative to believe. And when you watch Chris Grant, he's an agent, and they do not want anyone to mention his name, even though they used him as a media sweetheart. But he is a perpetual criminal and absolutely some kind of agent with the DEA or FBI or whatever. He is absolutely a protected agent, or, I should say an informant agent of one of our agencies. And he's so protected. And it's like, okay, that's insane because he's all over the news. And we're not supposed to scrutinize the vile and vulgar things that he said after knowing that he's a perpetual criminal and that the El Paso called him out for lying and that President Trump's Secret Service arrested him. We're not supposed to scrutinize him and look into him and then find out that his story is absolutely bogus, absolutely a bogus story with Donna Sifford, with others involved in it. And we're just supposed to, look the other way and try to say, oh, yeah, this was racist, this was white supremacist. And it was, that is the furthest from the truth, the furthest, because we have Patrick Crusius in court denying that he's a racist. But the thing is he's he's just not even capable. And that's why they don't issue a mental health evaluation for him and put it there. Why hasn't Judge Madrano done that? Because it would show that he is not capable of even of being a racist. Okay, he is. He has a severe mental health condition, not an illness, a condition. Okay, and so that explains so much, and it explains one thing very well, that we should not believe the narrative about the Walmart mass shooting that occurred in August of 2019. It occurred on Dallas Hart's birthday, August 3rd, 2019. And Dallas Hart is very big player. He is a prime suspect in the forced murder of our son Richard Halliday. So it is a very big deal to have his name involved in in this intelligence saying that it looks like it. It looks like it that he went AWOL after August 3rd, 2019. Not Richard, but Dallas Hart did. That is what intelligence is saying. It looks like it that he went um, AWOL right after the August 3rd, 2019 incident, mass shooting incident. So that happened in El Paso. Um, Getting back to the the video evidence, the video evidence of Richard is very clear. It's very long, um, and we want to thank whoever in the El Paso Police Department is responsible for releasing that video to us. We want to say, God bless you. Thank you so much, because it really, the implications of that video is huge, absolutely huge. And and it really declares Richard's innocence. It declares that he was absolutely a whistleblower, that he absolutely was being retaliated against by being set up, that they wanted to discredit his character because he was a whistleblower, and that they went ahead and used that, knowing that that video footage was out there, that they could hide it. They believed that they could hide it. That's why getting this video footage is so important, because they believe that they could destroy it or they could hide it. And we know that Leilani Hart with Tavita Nusa gave Leilani Hart unauthorized access to files at the CID on Fort Bliss. Why did he do that? Well, because he was in an adulterous affair with her, a sexual adulterous affair with her, and so he gave her, whatever you want, honey, which is a real problem, because it's illegal to have an adulterous affair, and because it makes you weak, it makes you vulnerable to security breaches. And in this case, it absolutely happened. And we know um, uh, DES at the time, the Director of Emergency Services, the person that was absolutely in control of the security of Fort Bliss, Thomas Kane, had control of all the video footage on Fort Bliss. And we know that video was being tampered with, video was being deleted, and they still might have some video that they absolutely need to give us. But this is the video footage that we received, the body cam that we received was from El Paso Police Department. And we just want to say, God bless you. Oh my goodness, God bless you. Um, you know, uh, pop some champagne and do a dance, because it is that important. It's kind of like the day that we found out who Al-Baim truly is. And, because the connections that Nadal Baim with the FBI, with Lieutenant Colonel Bugado, his son in law, and Lieutenant Colonel Bugado's family connections are huge, huge. And so this video footage is absolutely, Richard is so good in it. He's so beautiful in it that there is not a doubt in anybody's mind that watches it that he was set up, that he was absolutely with it, and just beautiful, just beautiful and respectful, and just standing at attention. And so it is still being analyzed, every little bit of it being analyzed, and we're trying to wrap our heads around it legally, what this means legally, because it doesn't look too good for the Army. It doesn't look too good for uh, Major General Clem Coward or General Michael Garrett or Lieutenant General Donna Martin, or because she was CID at the time. I think that's very important to note. She absolutely had access to this video. So that's really important that her name is in there. We didn't put everybody's name um, in the announcement that we just made, because who knows what law enforcement were briefing them, because we absolutely know that Brigadier General, who's a Major General now, um, David Stewart, I think he sold himself out to the devil. Um, but Brigadier General Stewart, he has to answer for that. When he gets to heaven, and he meets with God, he might knock on the door, and God's, I don't know. Confession cures is the cure all, right? Confession is the cure all. But yeah, I he knew, because I told him. I told him to his face. I told him when I was standing there at all the rallies. Brigadier General Stewart absolutely knew. And we know, and the reason why we told him there when we were at the rallies is because we knew that he was not briefed properly by Dirty Agent Marlon Soto, that he was not being told everything by dirty, very dirty Command Sergeant Major Jake Jakovitz, who, he sold himself out to the devil too. Um, Absolutely. And, some people want to be, some people just want to be sold out to the devil. Uh, you know, that's their, yeah, clearly, they're up to no good, right? Clearly, um, it's for money's sake, um, whatever. They have to make amends. So maybe they say, oh, well, I'll do this now for a while and then I'll go to confession or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's up to them and God. We'll see. Um, but we absolutely know that Brigadier General Stewart was not briefed properly when we first met with him. It was just that obvious. And I've said it many, many, many times. So, no, the video really implicates Michael Garrett, the four-star general, and Clem Coward, absolutely, the two-star general, and those are both retired. Whatever, they need to bring them back and strip them. Um, yeah, it's just that bad. We cannot allow our leadership to wear our beautiful uniform, and we decorate them with awards and stars and stripes, and they uh, engage themselves in this kind of serious criminal activity like arms trafficking, betraying our country. Those are treasonous acts, and retaliating against a whistleblower soldier, where all my life involved in the military, they have told us, report fraud, waste, and abuse. Report fraud, waste, and abuse. It is like everywhere, everywhere. And so for Richard to be retaliated against severely and continuously unto his forced disappearance and murder is absolutely worthy of the death penalty. And this is Michael Garrett, four-star general, Clem Coward, two-star general, Donna Martin, three-star general. Um, Huge breaches. Patrick Matlock, three-star general. Um, and then, of course, Lieutenant Colonel Roddick. because he gave Richard that field grade Article 15 with maximum punishment and then some. It was just horrible, absolutely crime against humanity, crime against our soldiers, and we cannot have a military that does that, that allows that, right? Because they absolutely were engaged in criminal activity, because our military installations, and let me just talk about El Paso, Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss, absolutely unsecured, and it wasn't me that said so, it was Thomas Kane. Thomas Kane. And he's implicated in this also. Thomas Kane needs to be arrested. And he said that that Fort Bliss is unsecured, and that even our uh, witness and whistleblower in our son's case that reveals all of this was also unjustly retaliated against, and he says that too, that there wasn't even a packet for our witness, that there are irregularities, and it wasn't just. Um, and so, absolutely, our soldiers have been left vulnerable in unsecured military installations. There is no excuse for that, none at all. And, Fort Bliss has the Patriot missile. They have a lot of equipment, right? They have lots and lots and lots of equipment. But in Richard's case, since he was with Patriot, uh, they have the, and they have left our Patriot missiles archaic. Archaic. All of those trillions of dollars, they have left our soldiers vulnerable and our technology archaic. Um, the Patriot missile battery has been sold to, the likes of Israel and, of course, now Ukraine, all over, and Poland also bought some. Poland might want to get their money back quick. Get your money back quick, Poland, because Russia just destroyed our Patriot missile batteries, two of them, each worth $400 million apiece, with the Iskander. The Iskander missile from a drone. And our Patriot batteries didn't have a chance. Did not have a chance. Boom, they exploded. And this is because our technology has been um, left to become archaic. Okay? They have not updated. They have focused on their criminal activities. They have focused on hurting our soldiers, leaving our soldiers vulnerable, and many other nonsensical issues. And our Patriot batteries have just been exploded to smithereens by the Russian Iskander. And so, absolutely, Richard's video, the body cam video that shows that Richard was absolutely so beautiful, it cannot even be mistaken for anything else, that implicates our leadership in illegal activities and severe, continuous, unjust retaliation of one of their own soldiers that they are obligated to protect, that they are obligated to care for. And this, so this is huge, huge. And and then you have the confirmation that in 2019 they were indeed conducting a weapons audit. And what it showed, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more tomorrow, but there was um, our weapons being manipulated. Okay? The weapons were being manipulated. And so that caused a lot of problems with tracking them, accounting, accounting for them. And so I'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. Um, so there absolutely, absolutely criminal activity going on Fort Bliss, and we know that because of what Asia Graham suffered with being raped, and them not even caring, not even that, but retaliating against her as a whistleblower of a raped soldier, by putting her rapist 2 doors down from her, closer to her, to make her suffer even more. And so and there's so many examples like that, so many examples that really show, with leaders like this, who needs enemies. So that is, thank you, Anicia, for coming on. Thank you for your prayers and your love. And this is really, really breaking news that we're trying to, it's so big that we do have to have it evaluated, that we do have to make an analysis on it, that we do have to make a legal analysis on it, because the very people that we are supposed to go to make the complaints about these kinds of violations and crimes, um, you know, really going to help you. So you have to take some time to uh, make an analysis of what you can do with the information that you have, so we can get justice and accountability. And that's why I'm telling all of you to please share. Share, share. It's very, very important. Um, the other thing is you can say, well, media needs to cover this, right? And we do have some media coverage right now, which is, I need to really read through it with Team Farm Richard Halliday and figure out um, how what's it really saying and what's going on. Um, and of course, then we have Bob Moore, Robert Moore of El Paso Matters, now um, teaming up, or I don't think he's now teaming up. I think he's always been with the opposition, the usurpers, the saboteurs. He's been with them all along, and it is really telling when we have reached out almost a dozen times to him without any response, but that he will be so relaxed and not relaxed. I shouldn't say relaxed. That he is willing to be with the likes of people that have retaliated against us, that have made death threats against us, that have harassed us. And he's, you know, a 501c3. You know, yeah, it really is telling that Bob Moore of El Paso Matters has aligned himself with uh, the suspects of of the those that have harmed Richard and even murdered him, those that have covered up uh, the the crimes surrounding his forced disappearance and murder. And yeah, it is really, really. Uh, don't forget about Amber Chase, right? And what she said. And I guess Bob Moore is just buddies with her, you know. And when you think about that, it just gives you, just gives you the creeps. Um, but that's what's happening. And I think that the truth is definitely being revealed uh, as every day goes by, and we're getting more and more intelligence from um, Team Farm Richard Halliday out there. So thank you so much. And we are very aware that um, that everybody would like to see this video. And as soon as we can, we will absolutely release it as soon as we're able. Okay, thank you, everyone. God bless you. And maybe I can release some pictures from it. I'll ask if that is wise to do right now. We'll see. We'll see. So I just wanted to tell you all that we love you. Thank you so much for supporting us, and please share. And we're going to get justice for Richard. And thank you for having faith in him. And once you see this video, you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, what a beautiful young man!" And the leadership didn't have his back. Yeah, uh, one of America's finest. One of America's finest. So thank you so much for your support. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye.